what I'm on about. That's what I'm on about. How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to take a look back at the last two FA Cup matches and also the quarter-final draw. And the last piece of news involves Arsenal because it's been confirmed that Thomas Partey and Kieran Tierney are both missing for Sunday's game against Leeds.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place, we're going to start at the last two FA Cup ties. And yeah, not as exciting as the previous day between Everton and Spurs. But Wolves against Southampton. And Southampton run out 2-0 winners in this game. And I still look at that and think what a massive opportunity this would have been for Arsenal to go on a bit of a journey again in the FA Cup. But it is what it is. We lost, and Southampton, they're continuing because it's a 2-0 win, like I was saying. Wolves made some changes. Southampton, a couple. They couldn't really do much, to be honest with you, given that they've got so many injuries and everything else. But yeah, it seemed comfortable, especially in the second half. Danny Ings got himself on the score sheet. Wolves tried, in vain to get something in the final 20 minutes and, brought on the likes of Adama Traore and whatnot. But it wasn't to be. And I suppose they'll look at it and say, you know what? An FA Cup run is nice. They did get to the semi-final a couple of years ago when they lost to Watford. But they will, realise that the Premier League is more important to them. And, despite the fact that they recently did beat Arsenal, they're not in a great shape and in a great place. So they're going to have to sort that side of their things out and, get themselves back to winning ways in the Premier League. But, yeah, Southampton, like I said, it's a 2-0 victory for them. And they're going to be very, very happy with their evening's work. Next game was Barnsley against Chelsea. And before the game, you'd probably looked at this and thought, well, this is going to be a very, very comfortable victory for Chelsea. But I tell you something, it was not comfortable in any way, shape or form. The first half was poor, went in at 0-0. And then when Chelsea did take the lead, Tammy Abraham, again, this will bring up this argument about VAR, because there was no VAR. Barnsley are not a Premier League team, which means they do not have access to VAR. Now, Abraham was offside. It was not even contentious. He was well offside. If this game was being played at Stamford Bridge, there would be VAR, which means that the goal would have been ruled out. And this is why I say the argument, because it's very simple. How can you have VAR available in some matches and not in the others in the same competition? You either have VAR for everybody or you have no VAR for everybody. You can't penalise clubs because they're not in the Premier League and they don't have access to VAR. And how is that even fair? Barnsley, they're going to look at that and say he's offside. VAR could have looked at that and within seconds, they wouldn't have even had to get the lines out. That's how clear it was. And they would have been able to go, no goal, offside, free kick, carry on. Chelsea were poor. And people will say they made a lot of changes for this game. But when you look at it, they had some serious talent out there. And the money they spent on these players. And yeah, you've got to look at that and say, don't use that as an excuse. It's just a poor performance. Scraping through. Barnsley will feel hard done by. But very proud of their performance. That's, absolutely goes without question. They will be very, very proud of their performance. But Chelsea, very, very lucky in my opinion. But they do go through to the quarter-final. Now, the draw. This is obviously where it gets interesting. Manchester City actually got quite a tricky tie and away from home. Quite surprised at that. Everton against Manchester City. Bournemouth against Southampton. Again, I look at that and I think, oh, Arsenal could be playing Bournemouth in the quarterfinals. Leicester against Manchester United. And Chelsea against Sheffield United. You're looking at that and you're thinking to yourself, my word, there could be some tasty ties there. You know, after this and we get to the semi-finals, could there possibly be a Manchester Derby FA Cup final? Leicester and of course Everton will have something to say about that. But, you know, the prospect is there. Can Chelsea go one better than they have done in the last couple of years or so? Losing 2 finals to Arsenal. So I suppose the one advantage to Chelsea is that you won't have to face us again. Or could Sheffield United, Leicester, Bournemouth, Everton, can you imagine all 4 of those win? So you go from thinking maybe Man City, Southampton, Man United and Chelsea to Sheffield United, Leicester, Bournemouth, Everton. I wouldn't mind seeing that actually. It'd be really nice to see one of the underdogs win it this year. We're not going to be there. We're not going to be winning it. So let someone else have our trophy for a season. That's what I say at least. I've got to get over that. Next season. Last piece of news involves Arsenal, and we do have more pressing matters to be worrying about. And that is the news that was confirmed yesterday. Thomas Partey and Kieran Tierney will both miss Arsenal's Premier League game against Leeds on Sunday. Partey, who has completed 90 minutes 4 times since his October move, limped off with a hamstring injury during Arsenal's 1-0 loss to Aston Villa last week. And again, I was speaking about that. Some reports are saying it was his thigh. I thought it was his hamstring initially because when he went down, you know, it was the hamstring he held. Oh, I don't even know. But they're saying a couple of weeks for him. But Arsenal are hopeful that he's going to be back beforehand. I'm praying that he's available for Benfica on Thursday. If not that one, then at least the second leg. Oh, I'm not even worried about Manchester City in between that. Just the Benfica games. Kieran Tierney. He is still out. Now, he's not featured since our 3-0 win over Newcastle on January the 18th. It's nearly a month. We were told it was just a bit of fatigue. Feels like somebody's not telling us something. But fatigue, I've never known fatigue to last a month. And discomfort in his calf. And apparently he's aiming to be back at full training next week. I actually think that he will probably be available for the game against Benfica on Thursday. And Arsenal just simply ain't risking him in this. But it's a concern, man. Such a talent, so important to the way we play. But he's missing so much football, and he has done throughout his career. And this one, again, it's another month on the sidelines, and we can't keep, you know, having to play Cedric at left back, not for that sustained period of time. 1 or 2 games is fine, but a month, it's not great at all, man, when you look at it. And yeah, the game against Leeds is going to be very, very interesting because our priority is the Europa League. Like it or not, it is the Europa League. And that's, you know, the basket we've got to put all our eggs into now. Given those results against Aston Villa and Wolves, there's not even that outside chance of the top 4 now. That's long gone. So if we want to get Champions League football, we've got to win the Europa League. And I'll tell you something, there's some tough teams in there. When you look at who's still there, Leicester are still in it. Manchester United are still in it. Spurs are still in it. Ajax, AC Milan, Benfica, who were already playing. going to be tough. But yeah, we need to be properly ready and, you know, on it for those 2 games. They're going to be so tough. And on a side note to that as well, the second leg is no longer in Greece because Greece have just gone into lockdown, which means that we cannot play the game there. It's not been confirmed 100% where it's going to be. But I will let you know in due course. And it's just not ideal, is it? Going to Rome, Man City, going to wherever, Leicester. Oh, mate. So maybe not being in the FA Cup during this week might eventually look like a good idea. Oh, we'll wait and see, of course. But yeah, big game, and it'd be interesting to see what happens against Leeds, because they're certainly not going to be a team that sits back. They're going to attack, and with the likes of Tierney and Partey and players that are going to be rested, it's going to be an interesting game. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.